So 3-time NBA champion and perhaps the most dirtiest player to ever play the league, Bruce Bowen, has sat down with Bomani Jones, and they discussed a very interesting topic of the dynamics of NBA stars staying too long in the league, taking up a lot of marketing space over younger guys, and basically being a placeholder in the league without having any impact. Players like LeBron James as well as Kevin Durant, their legacies are already cemented. They have plenty of money in the bank, but yet they still linger around with no impact. And in the past few seasons, both players have experienced either a sweep in the playoffs or a gentleman's sweep. But the NBA and their media partners are still adjusting to this brand new landscape with players lasting so long due to modern medicine and the upgrades that most NBA franchises have made to their medical staffs. Bruce Bowen gave an interesting perspective as far as the differences from the older players trying to stay in the league versus players today. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
There was a time where guys hung around the NBA, maybe for financial reasons, bad investment. This is kind of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar kind of thing, or the send off, with Julius Erving. Nowadays, I think you have too many guys hanging around because they love what it does for them. It is not about the finances. It is not about anything other than wanting to be in that limelight. And I guess it's their high to be still involved in basketball. When you hit 40 in the NBA or you hit 37, if you got a lot of minutes, you shouldn't have a lot of minutes. If you are being...
Makes you wonder, what the hell is LeBron James on? That he's been playing over 35 minutes a game, and he's still doing it today. Even in his 19th season, he averaged 37 minutes a game. His legacy is already cemented, and he's past Kareem. He's experienced multiple sweeps and gentleman's sweep from Jokic in the playoffs. He just lost to Anthony Edwards 4-2 while having a generational prodigy like Luka Doncic in his prime on his team. So his motivation is definitely different.
If you got a lot of minutes, you shouldn't have a lot of minutes. If you are being that mentor a la Vince Carter, who bounced around all over the place, but he was mentoring on that bench. He was that other coach for that team to help, pass that message on of what's necessary in the game of basketball. So I think there's a lot of guys hanging around too much right now, and it takes away from others developing and being a better opportunity for them. But you're older, you're talking about wear and tear on the body, and you see them breaking down at the most inopportune times. That only happens because you shouldn't be playing a sport like that at that age with all the miles that you might have on your body.
I'm ready for the next generation to have their place. I don't think that guys are supposed to be at the top of mind for this long, right? And so it's incredible that LeBron has done it, and I can't blame him for not stopping because he can still play. I'm not saying he should quit because I'm ready for something new, but I am saying in terms of how we consume the product or the natural rhythm of a league, it's odd that the guys that are still at top of mind are Steph Curry after 16 years in the NBA, LeBron after 21 years in the NBA, or 22 years in the NBA, I'm sorry. James Harden, 16 years in the NBA. And we could go on with guys that are in the same neighborhood. And so it is a big change that guys are staying this long. And I think the point that you hit that kind of explains something that I had not properly expressed was that guys didn't always play until literally they could not play anymore, right? Now with Durant, it's interesting though, because he doesn't play a lot of games. He's still really good when he plays. And it's hard to imagine there's ever going to be a world where he can't get shots up. But at some point, being Kevin Durant in year 19, whether it be year 19 or near year 20, at some point, the payoff is going to change.
Facts. And also, him joining the Houston Rockets, that is not a guarantee for success. Not in today's terms. KD is not necessarily as dominant as he once was. Physically at a point, because he's not necessarily a gym rat, game is going to get to him. Right now, he's just making up for it with his talent, his height, his ability to make shots. But this Houston Rockets chapter of his career, it wouldn't shock me if they won a championship. But at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if they got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
And To add to that, I just want everyone to understand this. You're not saying that he cannot do it. You're not saying he's not talented enough to do it. But I go into this, the wear and tear on the bodies, like, I don't know off the top of my head, but Kevin's average minutes per game for his career has got to be in the high 30s.
You can only imagine LeBron's. LeBron's is even worse. But in recent years, when these guys have gotten to the playoffs, that's when you really see a good glimpse that these guys are approaching 40.
And we're already talking about someone who's had an Achilles issue. And the frame of Kevin is not one of bulk. That's the thing that's impressive about LeBron. It allows him to, it allows LeBron to move over to another position.
In which he still doesn't. He still plays out in the perimeter, which leads to a lot of confusion. That's what really happened in the last Olympics with Jason Tatum just being on the bench. Joel Embiid should have never been there to begin with. It was political. He had to start because he chose Team USA over France. And LeBron James was listed as a power forward. But if you look at how they played, LeBron James was the point guard. So he's really occupying another perimeter position while at the same time crowding up the spaces for AD as well as Tatum to get more minutes in the Olympics.
He's not on the wing anymore. He's guarding the 4s and the 5s now. So because of his physical being, he could do that. Kevin he is not that big guy. Now, you might get him a good 1-2 years maybe, but if you're building, who's going to replace that? Those are the things that come to my mind when you talk about what he's doing. We're not talking about his skill set, but what happens after 2 years when you have vested a lot into him, and now what do you do in year 3?
That's a great point about the Houston Rockets right there. It's not like KD's going to take a pay cut either, so they are going to invest a lot of money into him, but how stable is it? Again, it wouldn't shock any of us if they won the championship or if they get eliminated in the first round or even a play-in. But who knows? Maybe the next generation of players won't be as durable as the generation of Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Stephen Curry. Because right now, even starting at a youth level, these guys are being professionalized at a younger and younger age that by the time they get into the NBA, they end up like LaMelo Ball where they're consistently injured. So longevity might not be something that's on their side.